HarperCollins presents The Goldens by Lauren Wilson, read by Cassandra Harwood. For my parents, thank you for everything. Hell is a Teenage Girl. Jennifer's Body, 2009. Prologue. I always think of her during summer storms. The dark, sultry heat, the violet skies and petrichor in the air, all of it transports me back to that July morning. The bonfire was still smouldering on the lawn, a stark pile of blackened logs and ash reminiscent of a funeral pyre, when I followed Clara out of the orangery. The air was smoky, full of the fragrance of dying, rotting things, and thunder rumbled in the distance. I was still wearing the stained white satin dress I'd worn the night before, and I was barefoot. The morning dew chilled my toes, and wet grass brushed against my calves as we walked across the lawn towards the woodland at the end of the garden. Neither of us spoke. The ground gradually sloped downhill, the trees growing denser the closer we got to the river, to the temple. It was there that Clara led me, strands of her blonde hair snagging on branches as we passed, sticks snapping underfoot. I've always known that friendship is a powerful force in young women. In the muddy, tumultuous waters between adolescence and adulthood, those impatient years of not quite independence, we embrace friendship with our whole hearts, whether that's for better or for worse. Any loose bonds without passion, those with old classmates just barely held together with cancelled breakfast dates and belated happy birthday texts, fade quickly, replaced by new friendships that are intense, beautiful, all-consuming. Friendships in this strange, in-between age are more blood-packed than pinky promise, living the very best moments of your lives together alongside the very worst. You hold hands and make drunken, fervent vows in the early hours. You would die for each other, kill for each other. In my experience, by the age of 18, every girl knows another girl that she would follow to the very ends of the earth. For me, that girl was Clara Holland. It started to rain, warm droplets running down my face, my arms, my back. When we reached the overhang at the water's edge, in the shadow of the crumbling temple, Clara stopped. Silently, she looked down into the rushing torrent, the shallows choked with reeds and vegetation. She tilted her head, indicating something that I should see. I followed her gaze. There was a body in the water. Chapter 1. It was only through coincidence, really, that I ever became involved with the Goldens at all. At 18, I had a mild anxiety disorder and a fondness for books over people. In maths, science and art, I was average but hard-working. Yet in literature, I shone. I'd spent 2 years at my shabby, underfunded sixth form being complimented and encouraged, pushed and praised. I would never be a public speaker. I physically trembled whenever I had to read in front of the class, even more so when I was reading my own work. But that didn't seem to matter. My grades were good enough to get me an interview at Durham University, and for me, that was all that counted. I had it all worked out. I'd read English and creative writing, with the long-term goal of becoming a prize-winning novelist. For over a decade, I'd imagined myself one day striding through an enormous, glittering city. London, Paris, New York, in a pair of thick-heeled boots, leaving lipstick stains on paper coffee cups as I sought inspiration for my next bestseller. Later, I imagined, I would settle down at my writing desk, which would sit in the corner of my tiny but cosy apartment, and the words would flow from my pen like water. My interview for Durham was to be over video call, which was a relief, for both me and my parents. I was already unsure how I'd afford the train fare there and back every term. I barely slept the night before, as reflected by the bruise-like shadows beneath my eyes. But I knew in my heart that it would all be worth it.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?